Oh, hi, it's Bukai, and welcome back to our Journeyman challenge on here. And is that Wonder Journey? Is that Andy? No, he doesn't have the actual that would be hilarious on there if on the second I join in, it's the Senpai again. But no, it's not on there. That's just that's just funny. As that's a name I would expect him to actually give his character on there, but he's not in the guild, so it cannot be. It cannot. So we've been sitting on good old-fashioned slimes for all night long on there, and by all night I mean 21 hours, so nearly an entire day. One day the internet will be fixed, and as you saw there's a nice little exploit that you can do where you go to the actual spike trap minigame, then you click the gem shop and it teleports you back to town, as the game can't actually let you AFK inside of the spike trap minigame, so it just sends you back to, usually to the actual Carrotmans where it's supposed to send you if you lose the game, but if you go to the gem shop, it sends you back to town as if you died. Weird little exploit on there, but yeah, something you can do to get back to town for free. And what I'm going to be doing now is, because I'm level 25, it's now time to start gearing myself up to get the good old-fashioned, whatchamacallits, the peanuts, and as well as the actual copper gear and whatnot. Because considering right now I'm still using and abusing that bug at the very beginning, but I gotta get rid of it, and I gotta get rid of it soon type thing. It's not really fair to continuously have. It's not really something that I should be keeping on this character and this account, and it's something that I should get rid of. So I decide to, it's time to actually start getting my armor. I abused this bug long enough, got up to level 25, but I've fallen behind on the resources, and the levels aren't going to matter anything on there until I can get good at it and whatnot. So, speaking of get good, here's me being utterly awful at the good old, 20 points. 20 points. I think my highest is 44 on this video. So, if you're expecting, 100 points on there, which is what I can actually get, yeah, 9 points. I played awful on this, and I didn't learn my lesson where it's usually, okay, if you're not doing too hot, take a break, come back to it later. I'm like, no. There's a brick wall. Here's my skull. Let's slam my head against it. I will go through this brick wall. Meanwhile, there's a door right there. But no, I'm going through the brick wall. Just sometimes my pig-headedness is just that, pig-headedness. I will be stubborn until the day I die. So yeah, there's the 44 that I was talking about. And then you've got just lower numbers. And because I don't have the copper chopper yet on there, which I should actually have spent my chops on oak in order to build the chopper copper, get the chopper copper, get the actual, get to level 8, because right now I'm only chopping level 5. If I can get those things on there, then my actual chopping will go up. Especially if I get rid of the actual stamp bug on there, because right now that I've got the stamp bug, my chopping will go down once I actually get rid of it, and I think it goes down by 10 or 15, so it's a decent chunk that it's being abused and getting right now. Again, I'm going to use that abuse while I can on there, but it's time to get rid of it, and I do end up getting rid of it in this video. Once again, I forget to go down to Dice World 3, and yeah, I fixed that solution, going back to Dice World 3, and I don't even see him pop up, but apparently Andy runs by on this video, and this is where my senpai actually notices me, and I've now no longer noticed him, as he takes a random screenshot of me here. I don't even see him pop up, but he gets a screen. I must have tabbed out, looked at my actual analytics on my actual YouTube page or something on my phone. I must have been doing something, considering it pops up and I just randomly see into the Discord, my phone goes off and it's like, what is this? Andy's got a photo of me? I have become the senpai. I never realized how dirty that would feel. But yes, in all seriousness on here, I'm going to be AFKing on the actual trees for a while here, and I do eventually pop back, considering this is the video that I attempt what a Jack had recommended to me, where, you You go, you connect to the internet, then you come back, record a bit at home, but then go back and reconnect to the internet. So I'm still not 100% sure if everything that's going to be seen in this video. I'll find out tomorrow. I believe it did work, considering I did see the player select screen when I did reconnect, so it most likely did hit the actual save screen on the logout. So there is that. I do believe it did actually work. If it did, continuously testing, I'll try to, I'll try to improve on there. It's still risky. It's still really risky. Like, this game is buggy, real buggy. Yeah, so I just keep popping back and forth into the actual AFK on there and just picking up the loot that I end up getting. I also put more into Sharpened Axe, just because considering I keep forgetting that the accuracy is also affected by my stamps, or by the stamp bug, and I realize that mistake after I actually go back and deposit all of these gear. And once I get rid of the actual stamp bug, which I believe I'm actually doing right here, is the time to get rid of it. And yeah, there's a nice little AFK gain bug on there that happens when you disconnect your internet. It's kind of funny on there. So back into town, I'm checking the cost of the actual armor and whatnot, and I do make a mistake. I build the torn jeans, and then I very shortly will be replacing it. But yeah, so I do equip the torn jeans, and I'm checking the cost of everything. Right now, the beach logs, that's not worth it to build the copper plates. I'm going to save up until I can farm Amarok and just get those leggings on there. Yes, my armor's going to be a little bit low, but, it is what it is underneath there. There's sometimes you need to risk some things on there, and on a Journeyman, yeah, that's pretty much what you're going to be doing, is nothing but risks, and more risks on there. So I do realize that I don't got enough copper ore, and it's time to actually go back to my forge, and I need 65 total, and I notice a weird bug that I don't know if this is just account swapping or if this is just because considering I've been bugging the hell out of this game, especially this playthrough. All my forge reset. Like, I can only put a maximum of 31, 40 inside, and I'm like, well, what's going on? And yeah, my forge reset. So a little bit annoying. Not much I can do there, but it's just, yeah, the forge reset, and I got to re-pump in a bunch of money into it. So I decided to pump up to level 5 into each, not dumping too much money into it just in case it does reset back later, but is what it was on there. So now that I got 186 copper in there, it's all about going back to the birch tree and basically just AFKing for a bit and getting rid of that red spore cap, considering it's useless to me. Utterly useless. Get rid of it. And I buy my daily talent point reset on there, buying some more of the statues, and I also end up buying my stamps. And I don't turn them in right away. I do that later on in the video on there, considering I'm thinking, you know what, it'll get rid of the bug, just hold it for now, especially if I'm screwed on the forge. And so I just dump all the rest of my money into hot dogs, because I'm going to need a lot of hot dogs. It's like 2 per peanut, and you're going to need thousands of peanuts. Welcome to the Journeyman. It's a journey. Lack of a better word, and for the completely unintentional / intentional pun, yeah, it is a long path. So I build my torn jeans, I wear them, and it is, like I said, a little bit of a mistake, but not really at the same time, considering I will eventually replace the torn jeans, but for now they'll function. And I can also, when I build 8 of them, I can swap them into the miner pants to make my life a little bit easier. Especially considering, it's only 5% on there, but 5% is 5%, and especially when I'm going to be running into the issue of gold ore is going to take forever on a Journeyman, especially considering you don't have any skills on a beginner to make your AFK mining go by faster. Another reason why I'm thankful I didn't make the Masocystic build that I was initially thinking, where it was going to be a beginner-only challenge. If people want to see that beginner-only challenge, let me know in the comments below, and I will actually start a beginner-only challenge on there, just to see how far a beginner will actually get. Genuinely curious if people are interested in that. I thought it would be just way too slow and a little bit too masochistic. But if people want to see it, I'll have no problem making a burner account on there and just getting as far as we can. Most likely, you're going to see the same progress up to this point. But if people really want to see how I play it, how I build it, how far I can get with it, I'm curious. I will gladly make it. Just let me know in the comments below if you want that. So it's here that I end up going down to Carrotman, and it's about here that I realize, and I kind of go, you know what? If I'm already at Carrotman, I'm butchering through these guys. I'm not taking any damage. I think it's far enough that this stamp bug has been living on here, and it's really time to get rid of it. And I do regret it immediately, considering it is a big chunk of my actual damage, and it is a big chunk of my speed so far. But you know what? This is a challenge on there. There's only so long that you can actually abuse a bug, and since I now have the capabilities to get rid of the bug and basically get rid of it at will, I may as well get rid of the bug at will. And I end up going back to town through the If You Love Me, Let Me Go. I don't need to do that. I could just run up and get stabbed by the spikes, but, you know, me no think, me no think. And once I'm back to town, like I said, I go back and it's time to build my copper armor as well as get rid of the stamp bug. So I pull those guys out. I pull out my copper, considering I know that I'm going to need to put more copper ore into the actual forge. And I take out all of my copper bars. I deposit my ore and I continue. I also was thinking about dumping more points or gold into the good old-fashioned, whatchamacallit, into the forge, but I don't. Instead, I realize, oh, okay, I gotta find the stolen piggy. So then I run out, find the stolen piggy who wants the copper chopper. I'm not giving him a copper chopper right away. I can't give him the copper chopper right away. I will eventually give him a copper chopper, because the copper chopper, because the stamps that he gives you for it is worth it, but for me to have a copper chopper first is more important than to give him it, regardless of the actual stamp, even though I'm getting rid of the stamp bug. It's just a matter of, you gotta do what you gotta do on there, and I miscalculated how many trusty nails I needed in my inventory, and I'm deciding, should I get the copper helmet too while I'm here? I don't have enough resources to build both, but I will tomorrow type thing. And so I decide, you know what? I pulled out the copper nails. I've been building copper nails. Grab that out first. Wear that. Then go back and build the copper helm tomorrow. Now, I'm also slowly getting up to the point where we can start to do the Colosseum. I attempt the Colosseum inside of this, and yeah, it didn't do too hot, and I don't even think I recorded the Colosseum on there. But it's time to actually build up and get rid of this stamp bug. I'm slowly making my way there. I also buy a couple of the armor upgrades, considering I know that I'm not going to be relying on that defense anymore, so it's time to use that. I had to go talk to Hamish, and then I go back to do the stamps. And the second I do it, watch my hit points. The second I put a point in, boom, I drop down from 100 to 29 and 33. A huge drop on there, but you've now replaced your actual stamps. Now, one important thing to note if you are doing these challenges within the browser, if you are doing this, you also have to reset your stamps and your alchemy for your other accounts. So make sure that once you have the ability to reset your cookies after every account that you swap. If you fail to do that, you just might have the opposite effect where you're now no longer taking your stamps from your top account, but you're now taking your stamps from your bottom account and your solo. And you really don't want to do that on there. Like, I was looking at my accuracy on my shaman, and I'm like, I have 70 points invested in this. Why do I only have 1,000 accuracy? And then I'm like, oh, I forgot I took from this stamps over here. So then the second I went by and reset the stamp bug, it went, bam, right up to 2.3. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to attempt a chaotic Amarok. And I'll tell you now, don't attempt chaotic Amarok unless you are, unless you've got 100% accuracy or you've got some seriously insane damage. And by insane, I mean my chaotic shaman was taking 200k crits out of him. But, you know, the problem was if you're missing those 200k crits, or worse, if you're missing his heal monolith, or, you know, you're just an idiot and throw XP pots at it, because that's what I was doing. Or you throw the potions at his shield. Like, just still shaking my head at that. It's like I got PTSD underneath there. It's shell-shocked, guys. Shell-shocked. No, it's fine. I can beat him faster on there with him. But that's not even this challenge on there, and I'll make a video of that later if you guys are interested, and I will eventually make a guide on how to beat him, or at least beat him with a limited damage on there. And by limited, I mean you're not consistently doing 200k. I only get up to a cap of 55, so it's not like it's incredibly late game, but it's not like it's early game. As Chaotic Amarok is Chaotic Amarok. And you can see here on the actual Carrotman just the difference between the damages on there. And it's like a third of the actual gains that I'm going to be getting. And I kind of go, all right, this is what it's going to be. So this is what it's going to be. It's time to go back, time to hang around and whatnot. So it's here that I decide, you know what? Sitting on Carrotman is going to take a long time. And so what I decide to do is I decide to go back to the tree, and I'm going to AFK on the tree until the basically overnight type thing on there, because this video has been going slightly long and it's time for me to actually reconnect to the internet while I can, and then disconnect and go back to where I was, considering, you know, as much as I can reconnect to the internet later in the day, I like not getting stabbed for my stuff. So, yeah, there's only so long that you want to hang around, especially that area that I end up grabbing my free Wi-Fi at. So, yeah, in order to maintain and keep my stuff and, you know, not have a knife in between my ribs, I decide to go back to the birch log. So if you guys have been enjoying this video, don't hesitate to give it a like, a subscribe, pass it on to your friends. If you didn't, pass it on to your enemies. Just out of pure spite. And if you guys are interested, there's a coffee shop to the link below that you guys can buy me a coffee. If you're interested in that, I'd be very appreciative. And with that, take care, everyone.